Hello, I'm Noreen Han with the USCIS Office of Citizenship. On October 1, 2008, USCIS began administering a new naturalization test for English and Civics. Over the next few minutes, I would like to discuss why the test changed, what is included on the new test, and timelines for implementation. So why did USCIS redesign the naturalization test? Over the last decade, several in-depth studies, most notably from the U.S. Commission on Immigration Reform, revealed concerns with the content of the test and its inconsistent administration throughout USCIS field offices. To address these concerns, a formal test redesign effort was launched in 2000. A panel of adult education experts, U.S. history and government scholars, expert test development contractors, and other external stakeholders provided input into the redesign. The major aim of the redesign process was to ensure that naturalization applicants have uniform, consistent testing experiences nationwide, and that the Civics test can effectively assess an applicant's understanding of U.S. government and history. Now, before we start discussing the specifics of the English and Civics test, you should know some naturalization applicants may be exempt from the English requirements based on age and length of time as a lawful permanent resident at the time of filing the application for naturalization, Form N-400. In addition, some applicants may apply for an exception from the English and Civics test if they are unable to demonstrate an understanding of English and/or Civics because of a physical or developmental disability or mental impairment. This exception is not automatic. Naturalization applicants who believe they might qualify for this exception must also submit the Medical Certification for Disability Exceptions, Form N-648, when applying for naturalization. For more specific information, please see A Guide to Naturalization on the USCIS website. Now that we have covered these items, let's start discussing the test itself. So what does the new test look like? Section 312 of the Immigration and Nationality Act provides the educational requirements for naturalization. This act states, no person shall be naturalized as a citizen of the United States who cannot demonstrate an understanding of the English language, including an ability to read, write, and speak words in ordinary usage, and a knowledge and understanding of the fundamental principles, history, and form of government of the United States. Now let's begin our discussion with the English portion of the new test. Consistent with the law and the previous test, the English portion of the naturalization test consists of the following sections: speaking, reading, and writing. A USCIS officer will continue to determine an applicant's ability to speak and understand English from the applicant's responses to questions asked during the eligibility interview on Form N-400. So there are no changes for testing an applicant's English speaking and comprehension abilities. For the reading and writing portion, the test has been redesigned to emphasize content related to U.S. government and history, rather than simply a list of sentences covering a range of topics. Each reading test administered to an applicant will contain no more than 3 sentences. Items on the reading test will always be in the form of a question. However, applicants are not required to know the answers to the questions that make up the reading portion of the test. Here are some sample reading items similar to what you would find on the actual test. Where is the Liberty Bell? How many original colonies were there? Who was the 3rd president of the United States? Please note, these samples are not found on the actual test. Applicants must read 1 out of 3 sentences correctly to demonstrate an ability to read in English. Now for the writing portion. Like the reading test, each writing test administered to an applicant will contain no more than 3 sentences as well. Here are some sample writing items similar to what you would find on the actual test. The Liberty Bell is in Philadelphia. There were 13 colonies. Jefferson was the 3rd president. Please note, these samples are not found on the actual test. An applicant must write 1 out of 3 sentences correctly to demonstrate an ability to write in English. To help applicants prepare, USCIS has released reading and writing vocabulary lists containing all the words found in the English reading and writing portion of the new test. These lists, along with evaluation and scoring guidelines for the English test, can be found at uscis.gov/new test. Now for the civics portion of the test. An applicant will be asked up to 10 questions. The civics questions will be asked orally and answered orally. Applicants must correctly answer at least 6 out of the 10 questions to pass the civics test. The civics content follows a basic U.S. history and civics curriculum, and many of the questions now include a range of acceptable answers. The questions come from the following content areas: American government, American history, and integrated civics. To help applicants prepare, all 100 civics questions and answers that could possibly be asked during the test are available on the USCIS website. We have also developed a variety of study materials based on these questions and answers. In addition, all naturalization applicants receive a free study booklet at USCIS application support centers at the time of fingerprinting. Study materials may also be downloaded for free at uscis.gov/new test. Now that we have covered content and changes to the test, let's discuss our timeline for implementation. The transition to the new test began on October 1, 2008, and will continue as a phased approach through October 1, 2009. Beginning on that date, regardless of when the applicant filed the N400, he or she will take the new test. Applicants have 2 chances to pass the English and civics test. The applicant only has to retake the part or parts of the test that he or she fails when the applicant returns for the retest. This now concludes our segment on the new naturalization test. We hope our video provided you with information on why the naturalization test changed, what is included on the new test, and timelines for implementation. For more information, please visit us online at uscis.gov/new test. Thank you.